God is good. Welcome in to Walk It Off Podcast. I'm Paul Jarrett. As all of you know, Ronnie isn't with us just yet. He's going to be coming in a little bit. We got to get to a couple topics and do the pick to click giveaway. I have not forgotten about the pick to click, but there are a couple things I want to talk about before we get Ronnie in here. First of all, D1 Baseball's top 50 shortstops not having Stephen Milam in the top 50 of shortstops. Can we please just, as a nation, give a little respect to Stephen Milam? Not only is he hearing it from the mouth breathers in Baton Rouge, but D1 Baseball and Kendall Rogers decided to come out and not put Stephen Milam, who is a Brooks Wallace semifinalist. If I'm getting that right, I believe he's a Brooks Wallace semifinalist shortstop, not in the top 5 of the top 50 shortstops in the country. Could that be a reflection of where D1 Baseball thinks LSU is right now? Could that be a reflection of them possibly D1 Baseball seeing them not making the postseason? I don't know. But I don't care anymore. Give Stephen Milam the respect he deserves. It's that simple. If you don't believe Stephen Milam is one of the top 5, if not top 2 shortstops in the country, you're out to lunch. The same thing Jay said last year. If you're a pitcher, you don't want to come to LSU, you're out to lunch. If you are a national writer, a baseball podcaster, writer, pundit, talking head, whatever you want to call it, if you don't think that Stephen Milam is the top 2 shortstop in the country, you're nuts. Shove it. Stephen Milam is the best defensive shortstop in the country. He's batting over 290 now, so we can stop talking about what the idiots talked about. Does he have the power numbers of a Rock Chalowski? Last I checked, no. But who do I want in the 6 hole in a game-deciding moment? I want Stephen Milam over anybody, and that's not me being biased. That's me knowing baseball and knowing that guy, Stephen Monster Merlin Milam, is going to come up with it. He's doing it every week, just about every game. How is he not getting the love and the respect he deserves? Drives me up a wall. It drives me up a wall. Milam, I love you, guy. You're the best shortstop in LSU baseball program history, in my opinion. Somebody's got to give you the respect. If it has to be me, it has to be me. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about. Sam Levitt is suspected to be fully cleared from a foot injury this summer. Lane Kiffin tells Wilson Alexander of All in 3. What did you expect? They had more information coming out of spring. I know there wasn't a whole lot coming out of spring. Really and truly, we didn't have a spring game. Lane's not, he takes more of an NFL mindset when it comes to spring and off-season work and OTAs just because it's smarter to do so. We've all heard about NFL coaches worried about helicopters flying overhead, stealing game tape or play tape, whatever they want to do. We all know the Patriots stole stuff. I get it. And I don't blame Lane for doing that. But Sam came out and he participated. Sam came out and participated in more 7-on-7 drills by the end of spring. He's working with his receivers. He's working with his tight ends. Yeah, he had Liz Frank. Yeah, we had the Instagram story of him with having the procedure. That was a planned procedure. Sam Levitt is not here for the payday. Sam Levitt is not here. Well, the payday doesn't hurt. Don't get me wrong. But Sam Levitt is not here. I didn't say that word, Zach. Show me I said that word. Zach, I saw Zach's comment, and I'm like, I did not say that. And he threw me off. Anyways, Sam Levitt is here to prove people wrong. I remember the smoke around Kenny Dillingham and him not getting along when he was at Arizona State last year. He saw what Jaden Daniels came here and did from Arizona State with Brian Kelly, who we all know wasn't coaching. Goodness gracious. But Sam Leavitt's here to prove a lot of people wrong and be a top draft pick, and he wants to be in New York. That's what my opinion is. I have no further information on that. I haven't talked to anybody. Don't be too excited about Sam at the end of spring right now. It is May. It's going to be June soon. Nothing's going to happen over the summer when it comes to football. And don't expect for Lane to be giving out all this information when it comes to football over the summer. Brian Kelly gave media and gave podcasters and gave pundits and talking heads all the access they wanted. Lane's not that guy. It's not a bad thing either. Before we get to Pick to Click, let's say what's up in the comments. Uncle Randy, what's up? What's up? I'm so ready for the interview. I am too, man. I'm excited to talk to Ronnie, man. I've been a big fan of Ronnie for a very, very, very long time. Babin on the Bayou, Mr. Justin Babin, how you doing, sir? What's up? David Bill, you got to go deep dive. What's up? What's up? What's up? We have a special guest, Mr. Jim Cross of In Off the Bench here, joining us. Thank you for joining us, Mr. Jim Cross. Uncle Randy, Paul J. just finished up your last ep on the Core 4, etc. Great show. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It was a great weekend. The only thing missing was meeting you and Paulie J. And Jumbo was in Plaquemine the Saturday early afternoon. Preempted, saying hello to Jumbo. TK, love those two. Are you coming to the Florida series? Because remember, we won when you were here. So you may need to get yourself here. Milam going to be the first shortstop in the draft to the majors leagues on the college side. Talking about the first shortstop drafted or the first one to make it to the majors, Robbie? What up, Mr. Zach Nunez of Go Deep Dive? Why don't you have GDD in your name? Is David's in there. He's ready. There's my niece. Hey, sweetheart. I hope you're going to have to get a number 2 jersey next year, Paul, even though it's very unlikely. Look, when it comes to Milam and him coming back, I'll be the first one to tell you, y'all know, I love eating crow. I love being wrong, just because if I'm wrong means good thing has happened. But I don't see Milam coming back. To me, it makes no sense. He loses all of his draft leverage when it comes to signing bonuses, even if he gets drafted higher. It's going to be really, really hard to mirror or to replicate the type of defensive season he had this year. He has one error, guys. One error. And he's hitting over 290. It's going to be really hard to replicate that. So I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Even Jay said that. Everyone talks about him taking number 2. Even Jay said, I don't see it happening. Tiger Joker, what's up, buddy? What's up, bud? Uncle Randy, and postseason Milam is coming. Oh, yeah. He's coming. Miss Alex, how you doing, sweetie? I love Alex. She's so awesome. David, what's up, gentlemen? All right. I'm not going to pull up. Okay, I'll pull it up. I did not say that. Zach, you're going to have to go back and clip it to show me, because I did not say that. I gave Sam Leavitt my leg, so you're welcome. All right. Let's see real quick. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Miss Missy. Hi, friends. Finally here for a live. I'd love to have you here. I have to get Jumbo in here to get Miss Missy in here. Come on now. Jumbo is one of Coach Skip's all-time favorites. He should be everyone's all-time favorite. He's the best. Kaylee, I saw it. I said hello, sweetheart. I said hello. That's what I said, David. Even though you won't give the stripes out correctly. This is why I don't get. So on Go Deep Dive, David Billion and Zach Nunez give out stripes. And I love it. Zach Cowan was SEC Team of the Week, SEC pitcher of the week. And he ain't the first pick on Stripes. Come on, nah. Do better. All right. Let's do Pit to Click real quick. So for the Gates jump card, we have 4 people. Blake Prest, hope I'm saying that right. Shy LSU sports fan in Texas. Diane Hopper Tabler, I'm sorry. And Scott Meyer. Again, Scott Meyer's here. He's just trying. I know he's 1-1, but that dude's doing well. All right. Remember, I'll show y'all real quick. Gage jump card right here. All right. Here we go. Oh, Blake Prest with the win. Mr. Blake Prest with the win. Message me on X, Mr. Prest, or I will message you, whatever happens first. And we will get you your Gage jump card. Take a quick break before Jumbo joins us. And we'll be back. Stay with us.
John 16:33, Jesus says, I've told you all this so that you may have peace in me. Here on earth you will have many trials and sorrows, but take heart because I've overcome the world. Like that truth that Jesus won is so powerful, so significant in our lives if we fully trust and fully surrender to that promise. Like no matter what we're going to face, no matter what stress, no matter what challenges, no matter what anxiety, like Jesus promises peace, and he reminds us that all of the sin, the fear, the doubt, the shame, like he overcame it all. He paid the price for your sin and mine when he went to that cross. He died a death that we deserve. He went into the grave. He didn't stay there. 3 days later, he rose from the grave, and the promise is true that he's coming back someday. So the power and the significance of that verse is now in a 2-word phrase that's on a t-shirt, on a hat, on a hoodie, and simply said, Jesus won.
Even in the valley of the shadow of death, I can take rest, cause the living God is living in my chest. Every day I wake up feeling blessed, and even if I don't, I see it as a test.
Join me and your favorite players by expressing your faith and assisting local ministries. Use code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off your orders at JesusOneApparel.com. 15% of your purchase will support local ministries like the LSU FCA. That is code WalkItOffTalk for 20% off. Jesus won. In South Louisiana, there's nothing we love more than God, family, sports, and food. For your next get-together, make sure you contact Lyn Sourdough Bakery. Whether you're gathering with friends and family for the big game or surrounding yourself with loved ones for a Sunday dinner, let Lyn Sourdough Bakery provide what you need to make it that much more special. Lyn Sourdough Bakery is a small batch, all organic bakery right here in the heart of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Go take a look at what's being mixed up in the kitchen next, as well as place your orders on Instagram at Lyn Sourdough Bakery. Don't forget to pick up your regular sourdough loaves, your jalapeno cheddar loaves, cookies for those late night snacks, and cinnamon rolls for those early morning cravings. Lyn Sourdough Bakery, where the first ingredient in anything made is love. Lyn Sourdough Bakery. We're still waiting on Mr. Ronnie Rantz to join us, so while we do that, let's get back in the chat, shall we? Zach Nunez, postseason mom is coming and he ain't backing down. We coming. I've been watching Edo highlights for like 5 minutes. They're like coming up to the show. How about that catch from BD Tuesday, though? I want to be sarcastic so bad, but I'm not going to. That was a amazing catch by BD. He did a great job on that one. Kind of coming out of nowhere. Defensive catcher defensive play has really stepped up over the last, say, 2 weeks. Has really stepped up a lot, and it's something we really needed. It's pretty amazing. Alex is a spirit leader in all chat. She is. She's one of those people that you don't understand how she can be in every chat, in every show, up to date on what everyone's doing. It's pretty amazing. And I cannot wait. Alex has some special news coming soon. I don't know what it is. I'm excited to hear it. I hope it's good things. I'm excited to hear what she has coming. Junior, did you see it was number 2 top play on top 10 SVP? Talking about the BD catch. Talking about the BD catch. Let's see. BD is destined to be a big leaguer and possibly a star. I hope so. He has the tools, and Jay said it himself before Aaron Beatty leaves this campus. He's going to be the best player on the roster, and I tend to agree with him. If he can shape up a few things and be a little more consistent in some areas, I tend to agree with Jay. I don't ever doubt Jay and his, evaluation of talent. So that's that. All right. If he can keep average slight. Okay. Quick story before Jumbo comes on. All right, let's read it. I was there last Friday in March, and we lost to Kentucky, and then I watched the heartbreaker to Duke that night in the hotel. The next day I pulled up on Jumbo and TK at BRQ, and it was one of the top highlights of my weekend. Jumbo is a natural-born entertainer and a great dude. 100%. Gammy and Kenzie said, hey, sweetheart. Hey, guys. Love y'all. Goat O will get your mind right. Yes, he will. If Beatty gets more consistent at receiving, he's going to be a first rounder next year. Yes, he will be. He has the potential to be. Now, what everyone here has been waiting for. I get the honor to introduce our guest for the evening. He's a native of Alexandria.
Tigers.
He is and has been a color analyst for many NCAA conferences, including the SEC.
Go Tigers.
He's a good friend of Lyn Rollins.
Go Tigers.
He does charitable work.
Go Tigers.
Worked with the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation.
Go Tigers.
And the National Kidney Foundation.
Go Tigers.
He has a podcast.
Go Tigers.
Sports Shorts on YouTube.
Go Tigers.
He is the CEO and president of Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame.
Go Tigers.
He recently acquired the Lake Charles Gumbo
Go
Gators.
Tigers.
He owns the Baton Rouge
Tigers.
Rouge. Don't know what I heard?
Go Tigers.
He can sing.
Go Tigers.
He is a two-time
Go Tigers. Go Tigers.
College World Series
Go
champion.
Tigers.
1991-93 with the GOAT, Skip Bertman.
Go Tigers.
Please welcome
Go Tigers.
Ronnie Rantz.
Wow, thank you for that intro, man. Tell me where to send that Venmo.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's free. It's totally free. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. I appreciate you showing some love for the Baton Rouge Rougaroo there, and I'm also showing some love for the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. I apologize coming to you from a car, but the freaking traffic in Baton Rouge, my goodness, man! Like it took me. I drove from Lake Charles. I left Lake Charles about 3:35. I live in Greystone and Denham Springs. It normally takes me 2:15. Call it 2.5.
Yeah.
And here I am, still not quite home. You guys are going to get to be on air while I pick up my prescription at Walmart here. So I'm in the Walmart. I'm in the Walmart line. I'm not going to lie. I'm two from the counter. So, but yeah, I mean, I thought I was going to be at the homestead kicking it up with some nice backdrop behind me. Instead, you're getting my car.
You should have let me know. I would have waited for you, make it easier on you. I wouldn't want to hold you up like that.
Oh. It's all good, all good. I didn't want to keep your throngs of fans waiting.
Oh, well, everybody's excited to see you. And you speak about Greystone, which is a nice golf course in Denham Springs, I will have to say. Played it a few times. I might as well bring this up real quick. The Gumbo Gators have a Celebrity Golf Classic coming up here on May 21st. So if you're a golfer, make sure you get out there. I think it's what, 150 for an individual, 600 for a team.
Yeah, I mean, it's super cheap, right? I mean, everybody plays in golf tournaments at $1,000 plus for foursomes, but it's a fundraiser. It benefits the Lake Charles Youth Baseball Coalition. The Gumbo Gators, it's our first annual event. We've been doing it with the Baton Rouge Rougaroo for years. sold out event in Baton Rouge. But we in Lake Charles, we're playing at LeBear's at Contraband Golf Course, really nice golf course, and it's gonna be a fun event, celebrity event, and we encourage folks to come on out. I think we've got like 18 teams filled so far. We're gonna cap it at 32, but we got like 18 teams already.
Yeah, if I wasn't being killed on pick to click prizes, I'd be jumping on that because I told my wife's been telling me I need to play golf more. I used to play golf 3 to 4 times a week whenever I didn't have kids.
Oh
and I
wow!
wasn't married.
Oh wow!
Working shift work, you get
Wow,
that.
you played golf
freedom.
3, 4 times. What kind of handicap were you?
I got down to about an 8, but then I got married, had kids, and then it went this way. I turned into Brian Kelly when it came to my handicap. I played about as many rounds as him, and it got worse.
That's right.
So,
Well,
with you acquiring the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators and the Rougarou, what spurred all that? Because you have such a long. I didn't realize you've been calling games with LSU since 1998, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
What spurred on taking on the Rougarou and then taking on the Gumbo Gators?
Well, the big thing, like you get to hear this, like I am picking up, man, for myself. Thank you.
A man of the people.
Lying to you that I was in at the pharmacy. What spurred it on was I felt it was a great business opportunity. You had a situation where the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators play at McNeese, great facility, all turf field, which means never rainouts. In Baton Rouge, we've had 16 rainouts in 4 years, in 96 games. So 14 rainouts in 96 games. Over there, they've had no rainouts in 2 years. I was involved and helped kind of bringing that franchise to fruition 2 years ago, representing the league on it, and kind of brought the ownership group to the table. Had a chance to buy in a minority ownership initially, kind of passed on it. But when the opportunity presented itself this past October of 25 to buy the team outright, I did so because I just think it's a great market. Lake Charles loves baseball. And I just felt like it was a great situation, and McNeese a great ballpark. Last year they had 2,700 opening night over there, which is pretty incredible. So
How's that?
So I think there's a tremendous opportunity there.
Are the Rougarou and the Gators going to play each other? So how are you going to do whenever the Texas Collegiate League champion Rougarou team? How's that going to work with you?
So we play each other. Get this. 12 times. six at each place. And there's only 48 games. You only play 48 games in our league, and we'll play each other 12 times. So yeah, including for the Baton Rouge Rougarou on June 5th, which is a Friday, the first game of the year, the first series of the year is against the Gators. So that Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we'll be facing the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators. So that'll be a lot of fun. That Friday night, by the way, is a fireworks Friday on June 5th. And so I'll tell you that it's, people ask me all the time, well, who are you going to pull for? And I'll say that the team that I'm pulling for is the home team. So whoever happens to be the home team, that's who I'm pulling for, because, you want to make sure you got a good crowd. You want to make sure the weather's good and all those things. So that's who I'm going to be pulling for.
And I got some behind the scenes look at some stuff y'all have going on this summer when I was able to go to the office yesterday and get this awesome stuff. But I noticed y'all have some open dates. May need to do a walk it off night. It may just have to do a walk it off night for the Rougarou there, because funny, the Rougarou name before I never planned on starting any of this stuff. Like I tell everybody, I got bullied into it. But I wanted to always come up with ideas for merch and like shirts, like some fun stuff. I also call it the Rougarou Collective. This was years back.
Wow.
But then it wasn't going to be spelled exactly the same. But then I see the Baton Rouge Rougarou pop up, and I went, there we go. There goes the name. Can't call it the Rougarou anymore. So I got to find something else.
You can call it the Rougarou if you spell it differently, because they actually have a Rougarou arena football team up in Shreveport that plays in Bossier, and they throw some extra E's in there and an X and some other things. But
Somebody from Louisiana didn't name that team. That's what the problem is.
Well, first off, how can you be the Rougarou when you're above the I-10, right? I mean, come on, it's a mythical swamp creature. There's no swamps in Bossier City.
No, yeah. I'm growing up, I was born in Laplace. My whole family's from Thibodaux, Vacherie area. I knew the Rougarou when I was a kid. I lost the accent from the military time. I had to get rid of it. So let's get back to some current times. This LSU baseball team, right? I was the first one. I came out and I said on my show last week, they're not making the postseason. Relax. Don't get your hopes up. Now, the worst thing that could possibly happen is you sweep South Carolina and everybody thinks you can go get 2 or 3 from Georgia or at least 1 and then sweep Florida. What is your current thought of this team right now? Like, I want them to succeed. I want nothing but success for them, but you got to face facts.
Well, look, I mean, this is the best 5-game stretch they've had since the 1st of February, right? Yeah. So I mean, and look, you got to be excited about next year. You got to be excited about Omar Cerner and Aaron Beatty, and you got to be excited about Braun, and you're seeing something maybe in Ruckert, and so that's all exciting. But as far as like, let's slow our roll a little bit here. You got to go get 1 at Georgia. That's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But then if you only get 1, all you got to do is sweep Florida. You know what I mean? Like, we sweep South Carolina, who's one of the worst hitting teams I've ever seen in the SEC. Batting 207 going into the Sunday game in league play. They're in 207. You sweep them, and all of a sudden, we think all our problems are fixed. That's not the case. Look, it's nice that we get a little hope here. It's nice that LSU is playing well down the stretch. The last 5 games, they played as well as they possibly could. And that gives you some hope. But to think that they're going to go win 4 out of 6 games, and oh, by the way, if you only win 4 out of 6 games, it's a block. You probably at least could take 1 at the SEC tournament. So you're talking about winning 5 of their next 7 games against Georgia, Florida, and whoever you're facing in the SEC tournament. That's I wouldn't count on it.
No, I wouldn't count, because you're going to be playing on Tuesday, probably an early game against one of the better teams in the conference. Here's a good question for you. In a time like this, everybody, because we've had all the stuff with Jay this year, with the not being funded, the rev share. How would a guy like my favorite coach of all time, your favorite coach of all time, Skip Bertman, have handled this back in the 90s? Like, what kind of aspect do you think Skip would have taken with this?
What kind of aspect would Skip have taken? I mean, that's a difficult one, because Skip didn't have a lot of teams like this. I mean, he didn't have any team that ever lost 9 games in a row in league play. So, the best comparison, look at when they had Ben McDonald, Russ Springer was kind of banged up a little bit the second half of that year. They didn't make the postseason in '88. In '95, they didn't have a good team. That great year. That's it. That's it. So what Coach Bertman would have done, I don't know, because he didn't have those scenarios. Coach Bertman was, now we think of him as a sweetheart of a grandfatherly type figure, right? He'll be 88 on May 23rd, same day as my birthday. And, we look back on him as this lovey-dovey, 20, old guy, but he was as an SOB, and we love him, and I love him. He's like a second father to me, and I have no problem with that. My dad was difficult on me, but he lets he was the kind of guy that would tell you straight up, hey, I don't know if you're ever going to play here. That's
the Paul Bird on the mound. Paul Bird moment on the mound.
Yeah, I mean, every pitcher had that moment. I mean, I remember he went and told a guy, the guy came out of the bullpen, threw 1 pitch, hit a batter, ball was halfway to the plate. He could tell it was going to hit the batter. He started walking out the dugout, went and pulled him after 1 pitch, and when he took the ball, he said, hey, well, guess we'll try it again next month. And the kid, he told another kid, on senior day, that did bad. Hey, look, when he pulled him out of the game and he got banged around on senior day, he said, hey, do me a favor, go find your mother when you walk into the dugout. She's so embarrassed, and he threw a little expletive in there,
Yeah.
He told me one time we lost to Maine on a Friday night. I got knocked out of the first inning. We lost to Maine. Maine used to be pretty good. They went to 3 World Series in the 80s. And he told we lost the game. We had 2 more the next day. We were going to play them. And he told the team, hey, guys, it's not your fault we lost today. It's my fault. So I want you to go home, get a good night's rest. We're going to sweep Maine tomorrow. We're going to win the series. Swear to God. But look, it's not your fault. It's my fault. See, I started the wrong pitcher. See, Rantz thought the effing game started at 7 instead of 6:30. And he put his finger on my nose for as he made the point. He told Doug Thompson, it's not your fault, it's my fault I recruited you. He told Bird that. He told all kind of people though. But my point is that he would have been an ornery SOB to be around if this team were his. I can assure you like that. He said, sometimes your teams just didn't shit, and that's how it is. And I can tell you that this team has a little bit of that. They had all bad fortune with injuries. They had just had they're good players, they're good people. They had in the past just all had bad years at the same time, combined with injuries, and sometimes your team is that way.
So, and it's a funny thing. Wait, did we lose you? Let's see. I think we may have lost Ronnie. I think we.
Yeah.
Wait. I hear you now. Okay, now I got you.
Okay.
We lost you there for a minute, but
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Because you talk about everybody loves Skip, and one of the things I definitely want to talk to you for sure about was Skip, because it's a funny story. So I live about 500 yards roundabout, maybe a little bit further from Skip now. My wife and I were living in Central. Yeah, we moved to Riverbend. My wife and I are living in Central. We lived in Baton Rouge before. And we have our second child. We're moving, and we're talking about where we're going to move to. Well, my wife in 23 sees the Hold the Rope documentary. And that's the reason why I have that jersey behind me now, because she sees the Hold the Rope documentary and the Paul F. Meyer quote, which you ardently desire, that gets ordered, put in my oldest son's room. That gets put in my oldest son's room. It's not there right now. But I have to tell her sometimes, because my cousin played at LSU in the smoke days. And Skip was still around. He was the AD. And
who was your cousin?
John Zach. I don't put my last name out there too much. Ole Miss people are crazy.
Gotcha.
I do have to, because I always love baseball season, because to me, I look at it as it gives Skip, it makes him younger. And I love to see that Skip whenever, because you'll see him again in the season, you'll see him at scrimmages, and Skip's getting up there. We'll be honest about that.
88.
Then midway through the season, he looks younger. He looks more alive. And it's baseball brings it to him. How would Skip have felt about the current state of athletics with NIL, like in rev share? Like, I remember you hear the stories about fundraising. You talk about all the time the booth with Lyn, which, by the way, Lyn needs a Twitter. He needs a Twitter or a podcast or something. And I think about with Skip, and I think you would have been great at it, but how do you think he would have managed that?
Look, I mean, it's impossible to predict those scenarios, but he's one of the greatest college baseball coach ever to live. He's a really smart guy. He's a tremendous speaker. He's a tremendous fundraiser. He would have adapted fine, and I mean, he would have done it a different way, but he would have adapted fine. Had they had this when he was 40-something years old as a coach, and he would have just adjusted, and he would have probably been the best at it. I mean, much like Jay Johnson, in the way that Jay hates having to go do lunches and raise money and all those things, and he hates having to deal with the NIL and agents and all, but he always says, if I got to do it, I might as well be the best at it and do the best I can. And so I have no doubt that Skip would have adjusted mightily. But it is funny to think, because all the stories about Coach Bertman, none of them are that he overpaid for anything. so,
No.
so the idea that he would have had to pay players is hilarious. Because I can give you a story. We went to the College World Series, and I'm walking through the mall, and I'm, and with my couple teammates, and all of a sudden I see some guys from Arizona State that I know, and they're walking through the mall, and like, hey, what's up? And we're talking, and they've got like Foot Locker, and they got all these bags of clothes, and Dillards and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, man, this meal we get just so great. And we're like we get like $125 a day meal money or whatever. And like, what? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yeah, we get paid from the school. We get money from our conference. We get money from the NCAA. And we're like, we get $25 a day meal money, and that's how it was. I can tell you, my junior year during spring break, the lunch cafeteria was closed. Like, the cafeteria on campus is closed. The school's closed for a week during Easter. At the time, there was no softball, so the only sports were us and track. And so about 3 days into this break, I go in the locker room for practice, and guys are like, we're not practicing today. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, until coach pays us our meal money for the week, we're not practicing. The cafeteria's closed. We're supposed to get paid meal money for the 7 days, we're not practicing. And I'm like, all right, well, Mike Neal was the captain of the team in '93, and he was my roommate. But Mike was super nice guy from Hammond High. Mike was like Warren Morris before Warren Morris, right? Coach Bertman used to say, Mike Neal's such a nice kid. He goes behind the dugout to chew gum, And so Mike gets tasked with, he's got to go talk to Skip and let him know that the team's unhappy that they haven't gotten their meal money. And so Mike goes, Ronnie, you coming with me? So we go in there, and Coach Bertman knows it's coming, right? Like, he's smart. Like, he knows this is coming. We walk in his office. He's like, hey, boys, have a seat. What can I help you with? Would you like a drink? He's got like a mini fridge, and he never offered us a drink out of the mini fridge, but he offered us a drink this time because he knew what was coming. And of course, I'm like, yeah, I'll take a Dr. Pepper. Like, to get my drink. So I get my drink. Mike Neal, he says, and Skip's got to have a Tampa cigar going. And he says, hey, what can I do for you boys? And Neal says, Coach, Ronnie's got something he wants to tell you, So I go, Coach, those guys in the locker room, they said they're not practicing unless they get their paid meal money. They said they're not practicing until they get their meal money for the week. And Coach takes a big drag, and he goes, meal money. I mean, guys, come on. What are we talking about here? Meal money. I mean, what is meal money, guys? I mean, what is money? It's just paper. Guys, we're talking about paper. That's all we're talking about. I mean, come on, meal money. Come on, it's just paper. Guys, you know who needs the meal money? Track. Track needs the meal money. See, we don't need meal money. I mean, like, the reason we're not going to take the meal money is because we're going to save that for when we go to Omaha. See, because when we go to Omaha, we're going to upgrade to the nice hotel, the Embassy Suites, where you get the free breakfast at the omelet station, and the, you get the happy hour from 5 to 7 with the bar nuts. And, we're not going to take the meal money. We're going to save it for when we get to Omaha, so we get the better hotel. And so I go back in the locker room. Guys are like, what did he say? What did he say? He said, be out on the field in 15 minutes or he's going to run the hell out of us. We never got the meal money, by the way. Never got the meal money.
He can wheel and deal. He came from Miami. He can wheel and deal.
Yep.
I could talk all day about Skip, but I want to focus on stuff you're doing, because I'll be honest with you. I knew about you. Like, I've been a fan. I love you, and Lyn is the best booth to me. If I could get you and Doug Thompson in a booth, that's my dream. If Lyn can't be there.
Mm-hmm.
You're the hardest working man in Louisiana athletics, in my opinion. You own Rougarou, you own the Gumbo Gators. You're bringing baseball to the forefront. You're the CEO of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You're always working on that. Like, where do you find the time to do all this? I have a full-time job and one show that I do twice a week, and I'm swamped.
And you forgot one. Back in
And
February of 2024, yeah, 24, the governor appointed me the head of the Louisiana State Athletic Commission. So that means I'm over all combat sports, MMA, boxing, wrestling, all that kind of stuff. So, the UFC stuff we did last July in New Orleans, all that, our organization's over all that. So I'm the chairman of that. Yeah, man, like it's a lot. This time, February to August, not a lot of sleep. Once I hit August to January, then I can maybe go play a little golf, or I can do some things that are a little more fun. But between now and then, I'm grinding, and but I love it. The good news is I do everything. Everything I get to do, I love.
And one thing I wanted to make sure I thanked you for was the work the charity work, even no matter how much it was, with the National Kidney Foundation. I lost my dad in 2021. He was waiting on a kidney transplant, but he was on dialysis every day. He had stage 4 kidney disease. And so seeing that, I was like, okay, because we all know the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation, and I miss those Wally Pontiff tournaments. I miss them.
Yeah.
But the Kidney Foundation is something you don't see a lot of. You don't see a lot of people working with that foundation. And I wanted to really, really, really thank you about that. I had a couple people sending. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say the Kidney Foundation, they do a number of golf tournaments around the state to raise money, obviously, for the cause. And so for a number of years, I was involved with them. And then, the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation, we broadcasted Jumbo Sports Network and CST, which a lot of the games that you watched over the years on CST were Jumbo Sports Network games. They were just branded CST.
Yeah.
And we produced them. And we did the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation every year from its first one to the last one on TV. And then the Wally Pontiff, the great family, right? The Pontiff family's amazing. They used to have the best golf tournament. I mean, it was 2 flights, morning flight, afternoon flight. A lot of fun, good DJ, great music, great food, packed field. It was a lot of fun, but it just got so much, there's a lot of work that goes into it. So after a number of years, most of that work was family. And after a number of years, they're like, okay, we waved the white flag on the golf tournament. We've raised enough money. We've done enough. We're good on that. And then really what did in the Wally Pontiff Jr. Foundation game was when the Zephyr field went away. When the Zephyrs moved and they didn't have a baseball field anymore, and it became a football field because it's where high school games are played. NOLA Gold rugby was played there for a number of years. Once there was no baseball team there, then now you're talking about playing the Wally Pontiff game in Baton Rouge, which they did for a couple of years. But it lost its luster, and it was near and dear to the Pontiff family to have that game in New Orleans, and or Metairie, and when it wasn't that, it was just time to kind of hang it up. And the Hall of Fame at the box is named in Wally's honor. It's called the Wally Pontiff Jr. LSU Baseball Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Foundation gave $500,000 for that museum to get done, and so. Those were both 2 things I enjoyed doing.
Awesome. I had a couple people sending questions because you're a bigger celebrity you may realize. And my friend Alex wanted to ask you, her name is Alexandra, what is the most underrated moment in LSU baseball history that doesn't get enough love on highlight reels, in your opinion?
Most underrated moment in LSU baseball history. Oof.
Which I got a bone to pick with you about something after this.
Okay. So underrated moment, I would say, let's not talk about any of the national championship seasons, because obviously they won the national championship. So you got to go with something else that was underrated. I think anything that Tookie Johnson or Jason Williams did in the 90s is underrated, because the games weren't on TV back then as much, and so you don't know who those people are, especially if you're, under the age of 40.
Hey, wait, I'm under the age of 40. I know this guy.
So, yeah, but you're, a baseball junkie on it. Tookie played 88 to 91, was the captain of the 91 national championship team, played second base. And when he was done playing after the 91 year, he had the hits record for most hits in an LSU baseball career. And I think he was hits record for the SEC, but I know he was LSU. Jason Williams the same way. He was the hits record for LSU when he hung it up in '96. He only made 5 errors in 1995 at shortstop. And, you know, you're going to go, well, Milam's only got 1. And this is no slight on Milam. I mean, you know, Milam's having as great a year as you can ever have. He's an unbelievable defensive shortstop. Probably will go down as the greatest defensive year an LSU player has had. But if you were to know what that field was like in 1995 at the old box, I mean, it's concrete, but not level concrete. And it had, I mean, it was a horrible field. And so, you know, and just to tell you how horrible it was, Andy Sheets, who in my opinion is one of the smoothest, best shortstops LSU ever had in 91 and 92. He's the MVP of the SEC tournament in 92, shortstop 91, played in the big leagues, played in Japan. He was a scout for the Japanese league for years. And Sheets had tremendous range, was a tremendous big league shortstop. And the guy made like 30 errors in a season one year or something, right? 28 errors or something. That's how difficult that infield was at the old box. Now, Andy had more range than J-Dub, so he got to more balls and took more chances. But the year that J-Dub had in 95, just you just don't know about it because it wasn't on TV like that and all that. So as far as, I don't know if that's an underrated moment, but I feel like those are 2 tremendously underrated players.
Now, the boat I got to pick with you is because you talk about the old box. Now, I know you love the old box at the base of it. I miss that place. My first memory wasn't baseball, honestly, related. I walked into the bathroom when I was a kid with my dad going to a game, and they had the window above the horse trough, and it was lined with Crown bottles. And I remember looking at my dad going, "Dad, what are those?" He goes, "Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that." But I remember because was past week I've been listening to some things you've done in the past, make sure I don't bring up other old stuff and stuff over and over and over again. But you talked about how they don't have the same fervor, same atmosphere at the new box as you do at the old box. And I would say this, you're right. But there are moments like recent for people who are recently, because I'm starting to realize I'm getting to that point where I remember stuff that a lot of these younger guys don't remember. And I'm just like, come on.
Now, how old are you? How old are you?
37.
Okay. You definitely look younger than your age. Yeah.
I'll send you that Venmo. But for instance, the Jordan Thompson double against Tennessee in right center in 23. You know where I live now. You have an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, sitting in this house, sitting in that bed right here, 1:15 in the morning, laying in my bed, headphones in, wife asleep, trying to be quiet. I hear the box before I see it on TV.
Really?
Yeah. Because I ask people all the time, where would you rather have a big moment? Is it either an outbox or Tiger Stadium? And
wait a second.
Yeah. No, I swear.
You really heard the box.
It wasn't like here.
Yeah,
but
you heard it
though. Yes.
But you were inside hearing it. That's crazy.
Because whenever we moved here, it was Jake Brown hit a big bomb earlier in the season in a tight game. I forget who was against. So I live right on the boulevard. So I ran out my front door to see if I could hear it. Because I was curious. I could hear it. A faint little tone. But that night, even with the 5, maybe 4,000, that's why I always pick the box, because when you have 100,000 people in an enclosed environment, yeah, it's going to get loud. And we know how to make that place loud. When you can have 10,000 people in an open air environment, that place can get ruckus when it's good.
Yeah.
Like, think about not Billy Glasscock, the West Virginia reliever last year. That was old box feel right there.
Right. And look, the old box, the new box can come alive in those moments. It doesn't have the consistency of the old box. And here's why. This is really easy to understand. The old box sat 7,000, the new box seats say 11. The difference is that the old box was right on top of you. The bleachers, the stands were straight up and down, okay, like a lot of old stadiums were. This one is a 45-degree angle or whatever, right? So you're further away from the field. It's kind of like old Rosenblatt, new Rosenblatt, type of thing, or Charles Schwab Field. So you're further away from the action, and it's more comfortable. I got a chair back seat a lot of the time. I got good food, the whole 9 yards, right? At the old box, you right on top of the field. It was your thigh was touching another stranger's thigh because you were so close together, right?
Yeah.
Your sweat was touching their sweat. There was no nice concessions or anything. You had a hot dog, a soybean burger, and a bag of
Nachos.
chips or something like that was it. Yeah, I mean you had your basic four things, and it was 1,000 degrees, and so people were there because they wanted to be there. It wasn't you go to the suites or the club or it's the cool thing to do or whatever, right? If you went to an LSU baseball game in a regionals in the 90s, you had to work for it. It was
Yeah.
100 degrees. You had to wait in line. You had to sit next to a stranger with their sweat on you, and you could smell them and the whole 9 yards. You didn't know when the game was going to start. You didn't know when the rain was going to come and stop or whatever. You had to earn it, and it's just so nice now, and it's a cool thing to do. And I don't want to go if I can't sit in the suites or whatever. Whereas the old box, you didn't have that. So I just think that, and it pissed you off, right? It's hot. I got this guy rubbing on me. I don't know this person. They smell, and so it was just a more intense environment. And I'll give you an example: the visitor bullpen at the old box. You didn't want to be a visiting pitcher.
That's why I brought up the kid from West Virginia last year.
It
That's
was
the reason I
not
brought him
friendly.
up. That was the one time.
But the new box, even with the new configuration where the bullpen is right there, I mean, it is right there.
It should
Like you
be
could be,
hell.
I mean, it should be impossible for that guy for those people. It should be like there should be a fist fight once a SEC weekend with fans standing right there at the fence, 3 feet from to them, and they don't. Everybody's too nice. It's too wonderful. It's too nice. They're too sweet, and that's the difference. That's the difference.
A big part of that, though, is I don't remember seeing security at the old box. I don't remember seeing like security in the stands.
I don't remember.
That's one reason because they're good there with security. And like I said,
at the old box, you could come in and out.
Yeah.
Of the stadium, you could go get you a cold beer. Hell, you could walk in with a cup.
Oh yeah.
Matter of fact, I remember in 2009 when they opened the new box and they changed the policy, like no leaving and coming back, and you can't bring in drinks. Like some of the old timers were just devastated by it.
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, somebody just said security don't let you stand up there. You've tried. My buddy Tiger Joker. And like speaking of old box memories and the whole way it used to be built, I remember going to a camp in high school. And we're walking around the grandstand by the gold seats, going to another drill or something. And Turl Thomas is sitting there. He's working with the catchers. And Turl Thomas sits there and he puts a pop up to a catcher. The guy stands up, tosses his mask, runs all the way to the first base dugout, runs back to the third base dugout, comes back and catches the ball right behind home plate. And he just yells, "Whoa, stop. Take the gear off. Go sit down. You just ran the Slidell back for a ball that was right there on top of you. What's wrong with you, kid?" And I was just like, I've loved Turtle Thomas since that day. Well, Turtle Thomas did say I had a good swing. So I was like, I'm done.
Well, Turtle Thomas is the reason that Brad Cressy became the Johnny Bench Award winner in 2000, because Brad was a great hitter and just an okay catcher. But Turtle came in 2000, and I feel bad for anybody who ever played catcher for any Turtle Thomas team because they worked harder than anybody on the field. Turtle Thomas would do 2.5 hours of catcher's drills. I mean, it was unbelievable. But they also had a guy named Ryan Jorgensen, who was the backup catcher to Brad Cressy in 2000. Jorgensen didn't even start at LSU when he played in the big leagues. That's how good he was defensively. And the combination of Jorgensen pushing Brad and Turtle coaching Brad made him, the best catcher in college baseball that year.
Yeah. And you're the perfect person to ask this question to, because you know my relationship with LSU baseball now. You have an idea. I know they didn't win one. What do you think is the reason why nobody remembers the smoke days? Because you always hear Skip, Paul, Jay. It's like Smoke brought you to Supers. He brought you to Omaha. He didn't finish it. He was handpicked by Skip, from what I understand. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I feel bad because I feel like a lot of those guys don't feel like they're even like part of the history anymore.
Well, I mean, don't feel bad for the Smoke guys. Feel bad for anybody who didn't win a national championship. Because I mean, the reality is that you got the 8 national championships. Those are the teams that have reunions and all those things. Not really anybody else. And that's maybe not fair. 92, I played on 91 and 93 national championship teams, but 92 we won the SEC regular season and the tournament, and had a great team and got beaten a regional. And we don't have reunions for the 92 team.
No.
But Skip offered Jim Wells the job first. He didn't take it. He was at Alabama, and then he offered it to Smoke. Smoke was at ULM, and Smoke got hired as the coach in waiting in 2001. He basically left ULM, came to LSU in 01, Skip's last year. Problem with Smoke is that he's a great coach. He's a great coach. And he's look, not everybody as an offensive and defensive coordinator should be a head coach. And at the end of the day, I think that's the deal with Smoke, is that I feel like great baseball man, great baseball coach, but not necessarily a great coach for LSU. He can be a great coach for another school, but not LSU, where you have to be a CEO. Okay, you can't just be a baseball coach. You have to know how to work the media. You got to know how to do budgets. You got to know how to, go do the rubber chicken circuit. You got to work well with boosters. You got to do all those things. And oh, by the way, there's a little bit of baseball involved, right?
Yeah.
And Smoke's not that guy. He doesn't do all those things off the field well. He does the things on the field well, and that doesn't work at LSU. And then I think the thing that did him in was, I feel like Skip Bertman felt like there was a lack of loyalty there, because I'll give you an example. Like when things were going bad, I remember there was a quote in the newspaper where he was like, "Oh yeah, I talked to this guy at Long Beach State, and I talked to this guy at Cal State Fullerton, and I asked them advice and da 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 da." And Skip's reading that going, "I'm 2 floors up. Why are you not on the elevator asking me for advice?" And so those types of things just kind of, did him in. But the reality of why he was let go is because there was a new stadium being built. So if you remember, the stadium was supposed to be open in like 2008, I believe. Maybe it was even 2007, and it got pushed back to 9 because of Katrina. Price of metal went up, and the state was in a mess, and the prices, they had a $35 million budgeted and for the plans, and all of a sudden it was going to be $45 million, and they didn't have the money, so then they had to redo the plans and or cut some things, and that's why there's not a visitor locker room. That's not why there's not hit tunnels underneath the stadium like there originally was supposed to be, because of Katrina and the price of metal went up. So what happened is he's got this new stadium, Skip's AD, and he's a businessman. And LSU baseball starting to slide a little bit, and he's noticing that, we're selling season tickets, but the actual attendance isn't there. If you remember, they used to tell you what the actual attendance was. You would and you would know that there were 3,800 for the McNeese game.
I'd say the sold tickets.
Yeah, now they don't tell you that, and they haven't for 12 years, 13 years, something like that. They stopped doing that, and their actual attendance was going down because LSU baseball fans would just buy their season tickets, wait for the postseason. So the combination of season tickets not being used, which affects concessions as well, so revenue is not coming in. I've got this new stadium that's going to have 4,000 more seats. I'm going to have all these expensive suites and club seats. And Skip was generally concerned that we're not going to be sold out, or that I'm not going to be able to pay for this building. So because of that, he said, well, I got to make a change. And he wanted to bring in, he originally interviewed Corbin at Vandy. He was unsold on him, wasn't sure if his nerdy kind of northern way would work down here. Wanted to bring him back for a second visit a week later, and he said, no, I can't come for a second visit. I want the job, but I can't come for a second visit. Vandy's on me. I'm supposed to be Team USA coach. And if you can't offer me the job, I'm going to have to pass. Yeah. And Skip wasn't sure. He wanted to bring him down one more time and feel him out. So when he turned it down, he talked to Jim Morrison at Miami. And when he turned it down, he talked to Paul. And, Paul had the LSU ties. And He's familiar with Paul from his days at, over the years, and knew his dad well. And so that became the fit. And the thing he liked about Paul was he knew that Paul had a lot of energy. Paul had LSU connections. Paul was going to, sell.
Yeah.
He was going to sell the program. He was going to sell the stadium, and he would bring energy, and it would give people hope. And it worked.
And you win a national championship going into the new stadium. That couldn't have been a better fit.
Right.
I don't want to keep you much longer. I've kept you for far longer than I probably should have. But I want to talk to you about the Rougarou and what people should expect to look forward to this year with the Rougarou. Y'all won the Texas College League Championship last year. And the Rougarou is how would I put it? A undiscovered gem to a lot of people in my eyes, because you have a lot of great college athletes coming to play all year. One question with that too, if you can, when you answer this, how is it that you get the players you get with the Rougarou or with the Gumbo Gators? Is it more or less like Cape Cod League where it's coaches calling, things of that nature, or is it you going out and recruiting? And
It's a combination. Yeah, it's a combination. Like today, the Rougarou, we just signed a pitcher from Loyola down in New Orleans. Their coach called me, and we needed another arm. It's like recruiting. Oftentimes, the guys that call you, you don't want. It's the guys you call them, right?
Yeah.
So coaches call, we call, they call, and you try to put together your best team possible. There are 25 to 30 leagues around the country that do what we do. So there's a lot of competition for these players, and including there's a day and age now where guys don't go play in the summer. I can remember when we played in 91, we won the national championship. 2 days later, I was on a flight to Alaska to go play. Guys don't do that nowadays. LSU, for example, half the guys probably don't go play. And so, you have to kind of, our team is made up of D1, D3, NAIA, D2, you name it,
Yeah.
But it's minor league baseball, but with college players. That's the best way to explain it. We're going to have fireworks on Friday nights. We're going to have mascots running around. We're going to have fun jumps for the kids. Wood bat. We're going to have on-field games. We're going to have dance teams performing. We're going to have, funny music and make fun of the other team and all that kind of stuff. But the one thing we're also going to have is great food. I like to eat, and we only serve great food. And so Mike Tremonti, the Tremonti's Meat and Seafood, they provide our burgers and sausage, and we do it right. So we encourage you to come out. June 5th is the opening night for the Rougarou. June 2nd is opening night in Lake Charles if you're over in that area for the Gumbo Gators, and we're gonna have an awesome time.
That's awesome. I'm gonna hold you on just a little bit after the show because I want to ask you something. But
Okay.
Ronnie, I can't thank you enough for coming and join me tonight. It's a
My
dream
pleasure.
come true for me. It's a dream come true for me. And I hope everybody spends the time and comes out and sees a Rougarou. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to bring my family out there because we're a baseball family. And I can't wait for it because once LSU baseball ends come October, everybody's going, where's that? Well, I miss LSU baseball. Well, doesn't have to end. Just go see the Rougarou. You're going to have a great time. Ronnie, anything you want to say to the people before we go?
No, I appreciate the support over the years, man. And I did my last game for this season for LSU on Tuesday because the Florida games will be radio feed. They'll take the radio feed and throw it over the scoreboard. But I'll be doing Sunbelt Conference. I'll be doing all 16, 18 games, whatever, of the Sunbelt Conference tournament. In Montgomery, Alabama. That'll be the week after next. So studying up on my Sun Belt, pulling for the Raging Cajuns and ULM because, of course, those are the Louisiana teams.
Are you going to sing the national anthem at a Rougarou game?
I did last year. I think it was maybe a playoff game. I will this year. I'll do one at some point.
Because your girl gave me a video. I'm not playing it, but you got some pipes on you. You got some pipes.
Thank you, man. I've spent a little time or two in a karaoke bar, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah. But everybody, God loves you. All he wants you to do is love him back. I'll see y'all Monday. Enjoy the games this weekend. Root them on against Georgia. Everybody go give Ronnie some love. Go get your season tickets. They're not expensive. I was looking at that earlier. Season tickets are not expensive whether you're in Lake Charles or the Baton Rouge area. God loves you. I love you. Peace.